Steve Kim here with Ray Mancini, and the gloves are off, and there was a triple header on August 16th at the StubHub Center in Carson, California. The action, and it changed hands. The IBF welterweight title, Kell Brook with a majority 12-round decision over Shawn Showtime Porter. And for the WBC middleweight title, Anthony Dirrell is your new belt holder, the 12-round decision over the rugged and awkward Sakio Bika. And for the WBC lightweight title, Omar Figueroa with a 9th-round stoppage over Daniel Estrada. Special K, slight upset here. I think it's this simple. Shawn Porter may have been the better athlete. I thought the more contained fighter that kept his fundamentals, I thought was Brook. I thought he clearly won this fight, Ray.
Well, Brook, I thought he won this fight also because he kept doing with the straight punch, that jab. The jab kept Shawn on the outside, straight punches down the middle, caught Shawn. Shawn's, I think, is a better fighter than that, what he showed. So I don't know why. I don't think he looked like he was in the best of shape, simply because he was clutching and grabbing the whole fight. You know, there used to be a fighter, for my father fought a non-title fight, who my father was supposed to sign to fight for the world lightweight title, Sammy Engot from Cleveland.
Heard of him.
Sammy, they call him the clutch, because that was his game. He grabbed, you know, he went ugly all the time. Shawn, that's what he was doing. He was clutching and grabbing. He was smothering his own shots on the inside. I never thought he looked like he got any type of rhythm. So what he thought was trying to overwhelm Kell Brook. And it was an ugly fight, obviously, to watch. It was not entertaining to me to watch. It was ugly fights. But Kell Brook kept him on the outside with the jab and shot right hand straight down the middle, and he caught Shawn. You
know, two sayings of John Wooden come to mind as it related to Shawn Porter. Never mistake activity for achievement, and be quick, but don't be in a hurry. Now, this has to kill you, because I know you're a big admirer of Golovkin. One thing Golovkin does, for all his brute power, he knows how to keep distance and spacing. Shawn Porter was like a sports car with no brakes. He kept running into the wall. Now, a lot of people are complaining, including the Porters, saying that we were held the whole night. Ray, I'd make the argument, if you keep running into a guy's chest, what do you expect to happen but to get held on the inside?
Exactly. Well, plus, if you're running, you know, Shawn wasn't completely to be absolved of that. He was holding, clutching, and grabbing, trying to hit with the one hand also. Like I said, I thought he made an ugly fight. Not so much. Kell Brook, you know, look, you know on Front Street what you're getting involved in. You know what type of fight it's going to be. You know what type of fight Kell Brook is. So you got to adjust your style accordingly. You know, Kell Brook is a pretty good boxer, straight up boxer. You got to, you know, adjust accordingly. So you got to move yourself inside like he did, but you got to throw punches coming in, not clutch and grab. And when you're inside, let the hands go. Pull your hand inside, pump with both hands on the inside. It wasn't that.
You say that Shawn Porter's a better fighter than he showed. Looking back, Devin Alexander may have overlooked him. Kind of surprised him early on in that fight with his physicality. Paulie Malignaggi, all due respect, very slick, sound boxer, could not break a smoke ring. Were the last two fights of Shawn Porter a bit of a mirage?
I don't know. According to this fight, you would say so.
Yeah.
You know, you would say so. But I think Shawn's better than that. I think people know that he's better than that. And you know, I liked after the Malignaggi fight, but I know Paulie can't punch and he can't keep a guy off him too well. But he's, you know, but Paulie's slick, and Shawn just walked him down. He just, you know, he just chopped him down. I expect big things from Shawn Porter. I think he's a better fighter than he showed. I think that was just a bad night, an off night. I think he knows that. I would hope they would have to come back stronger and have something to prove. So I expect better things coming from him.
And let's give the victor, Kell Brook, some credit. He won this fight. He's a sound guy, been developed very well. Where do you see his ceiling? Do you see a world-class 147-pounder in Brook?
Well, I beat Shawn Porter, so how can you say he's not? But I think he fought the best fight he could fight against Shawn Porter. I don't know if we can get better than that, because he fought pretty sound, pretty, you know, like I said, you know, pretty basic 1-2 punches down the middle. I don't know if there's a higher ceiling for him or not. That remains to be seen. But right now, he beat one of the top, not only the top champions, but top prospects coming up. I mean, Shawn Porter's a heck of a good fighter. And like you said, he is a hell of an athlete.
Yeah.
Hell of an athlete who can fight pretty damn good. So I think Kell Brook did a hell of a job. And that remains to be seen yet. If that was the best he could get, if that's the best he got, or if he could even get better.
Ray, I was there live at the StubHub Center. Dirrell Bika is one of those fights, and I have actual proof of it. There were more people in the beer lines than watching the fight by the mid-rounds. This fight was a mess.
First, it's a rematch, right?
Yes.
So the first fight wasn't overwhelming. The first fight wasn't no crowd pleaser. The first fight, was the same type of fight. You know what you're buying. So why they made the rematch? I really don't know why they made the rematch. And you know what you're going to get. But maybe it's because they want people to make sure to get into the beer lines and get, before the main event. Maybe they want people to do something else, give them a chance to go to the bathroom because it's a cure for insomnia. It's a bad matchup, bad styles, bad matchup because you know what both guys, how they fight. You know what they're going to do. It was a stinking fight.
Ray, this is one of my pet peeves in all of boxing. Dirrell Bika was a clutch fest. I don't know who initiated more of it. Usually it's Sakio Bika. He's a very rugged guy. Technique, not exactly the best. He's not exactly Mike McCallum in there. Is it time for referees to start enforcing the actual rules? Because if you look at the Queensberry rules, clutching and holding is theoretically illegal. So isn't it time for more referees to actually just say early on, guys, you can't do that, give a hard warning, take a point away, clean up the actual fights?
Well, Steve, you said it best. Referees have an obligation in there. And I think, the old-time referees, I mean, certainly our friend from Reno, his name,
Mills Lane.
Mills Lane, my man Mills. Jesus, man, my mind's shot because he refereed my last four fights. Mills Lane wouldn't have put up with it. And you need a guy like Mills Lane to say, hey, look, start fighting or I'm going to take a point away from you. Back in the day, when we talked about this last time, we were talking about if a guy was in the corner, what Teddy Brennan would have done. Teddy Brennan went to the corner and said, if you don't start fighting, you're not getting paid. That's what we need more of. I don't know if the referees now are afraid because they're on national television and they're in front of millions of people that if they take a point away or if they try to tell the fighters, look, start mixing up, they're going to be under scrutiny, get some backlash. But certainly they have an obligation to make sure there's action going on.
You make a great point because Vic Draculich tried that a couple of weeks before and we're all ripping him. And he was actually trying to take control of the fight by cleaning it up, enforcing the rules, and he took a lot of criticism for it. I remember a great referee that I'm sure you're familiar with, Arthur Mercanti Sr. If he didn't like the action that was in a fight, as a spectator in that ring, he would actually say, hey guys, you want to start fighting or not? He would actually tell guys to start engaging. I just think, again, all you have to do is enforce the rules. In basketball, theoretically, if you take that third step, they call it traveling. In baseball, if you consistently balk, runners get the base. Yeah. In football, if you jump off sides, that's 5 yards. No. Literally, clinching in boxing is the only thing I've seen in sports. You could break the rules 100 times, you don't get penalized one single time.
Steve, they tell you, the referee will come in for the fight in the locker room, give you the rules. And he'd say, rules of engagement. He said, if you're holding, excessive holding, I'm going to tell you once. If I think you're doing it again, I'm going to tell you twice. The third time, I will take a point away. So you know that you can only do it twice. And after the third time,
in theory,
and if it happens to go, if I warn you, you do it again, you're going to get disqualified, and the guy keeps doing it, what does that tell you? So obviously, you don't want, if it's a big fight, they don't want to disqualify the fighters because of the audience in the network. But at some point, again, the networks have to take obligation of what they know on Front Street, what they're buying, so they know what the product they're putting out there, and the referee has a job to enforce the rules.
Ray, Teddy Atlas has always said it takes two to tango or clutch. That in other words, guys cooperate. That if a guy's clutching you, a lot of guys, they start to waltz around. Do you agree with that? That it takes the other guy to break themselves out of the clinching?
Yes, it does. But that's what that was the whole thing is if you have one hand free, keep punching, keep punching. Steve, I've said this repeatedly. Whether it's the trainers, whether it's the referees, or just the fighters themselves, probably the fighters themselves and the trainers, the art of infighting is lost. These guys, as soon as a guy touches their body, they want to clutch and grab. I mean, perfect example, when Matisse was fighting Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia, both guys were clutching and grab, but Matisse looked like he was trying to move his hands. Danny Garcia was just trying to clutch, grab him and tie him up. What happened if pull your hand down and fight on the inside? Did he not learn that in the amateurs or not? I thought Danny Garcia, though he beat Matisse, was a better fighter than he showed. So, I mean, guys like that, they're better fighters. Learn the art of infighting. That art is lost. So what happens is we get the clutch and grab. Referees allow it, but part of it's because the trainers nowadays have no clue how to teach the guy that, how to fight on the inside. My trainers used to tell me, Murphy Griffith, as soon as you touch that body, pull the hand inside, keep banging both hands. Always leave one hand free at least. As long as you got one hand free, keep banging. It's up to the referee to stop it. What the referees will tell you. As long as you got one hand free, I'm going to allow it to go on. So obviously that keeps you from one, you're either going to get hit or you're going to fight back. And that obviously means you're going to pull the other hand, let go of, if you're holding the guy's arm, let go of his arms so you can fight also. I mean, I think it's a natural progression of teaching the guys to infighting. If you got one hand free, allow him to keep punching, and the other guy better start punching back.
Okay, that was it for another edition of Gloves Off with Ray Mancini and Steve Kim. If you want to tweet us, you could do so at @RealBoomBoom or at SteveUCN Live, #Gloves Off. So till the next round, goodbye everybody.